Hey, welcome back to From the Roots Up, the podcast chronicling Hickory FC's incredible journey, match by match, champ by champ. We've got a massive episode today. We've got some announcements to make. I know you see a third microphone sitting over there. We'd have a special guest. First, I want to give a huge shout out to our friends at Barley Market. You can see their logo in the background there. Thank them for hosting us and allowing us the space to do this. We've got another, we've partnered with Lifting Love and the Lifting Love Network. So our podcast is going to be viewed on YouTube there. We thank him for the production value that he's going to add to this podcast. And we also want to announce that we're partnering with Chris Vondrell with Vondrell Media. That's going to give us some promo materials. So we can't thank our partners enough for doing that with us.
Yeah, we're coming off arguably probably the most insane, biggest win of the season yet. That Southeastern Conference match where absolute grind of a match, but we were able to bring down App FC 1-0. And man, it was a grind fest from the first whistle to the absolute end of the match for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And what a match it was. And that we already know it's a rivalry. We already know it's an insane physical rivalry from the earlier matches this year and the matches last year. But this made it especially sweet, this match this past Saturday. The city definitely showed up for us. And now we've got now we're on to the next round, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because, going into this match, we all knew, everyone knew between those first two matches, 1-0, heated, player scuffles, and just hometown rival. We knew this was going to be a furious match, to say the least. But that alone makes it a fun game to go to. But when you're able to pull through, and as much as it sucks to go through a nail biter of a game, it definitely makes that championship win more worthwhile. And I think we could all tell that Gavin agrees by the way he reacted to that goal, because he absolutely lost it.
I did. I lost. I thought I went a little overboard. I was told I didn't, which is good to hear that people enjoyed the call of that goal, because you live for moments like that in games like this. So let's talk about the attendance. We set a new attendance record by some margin. Talk to us about how many people were there and the atmosphere in the stadium Saturday night.
5,758 fans, and man, that's incredible. We always talk about being a fourth division team in a small town, but it seems like every week we're just like showing up, showing out, proving everyone wrong. And it's funny because there's a few ways to really put that number in perspective. First off, if you compare it to second division teams here in the States, like USL Championship, that's middle high of the pack. Like that's competitive with second division team attendance. And you also got to consider a lot of those second division teams are playing in cities with 1 million people. So I think that's what makes it even more impressive. But it's not even just that. It's not just people in the stands, but like these people were hyped. You heard from those views of the shot of the goal. When that ball went in, man, it was a roar. It got loud. It was good.
It was. I can't. If you weren't there, I cannot explain to you what that felt like. It was just nuts hearing 5,700 people, and of course I was hearing myself just scream like a child at Christmas. I don't know. My voice started cracking.
I think I heard it from the supporter section.
You might have heard me from there. So with 5,700 people, I don't know if we can say this is a minor league. It's not minor league football anymore.
Ain't nothing
with 5,700 people.
This.
It's wild. So, and we mentioned the rivalry already with App. The two matches earlier this year had red cards. App received red cards on both of them. They've been extremely physical. This match was nonetheless, and it was the latest, most intense chapter of this intense, fierce rivalry with Hickory and App. Both teams, obviously, this was a high stakes match. Excuse me. Actually, they all were all season, really, because they were 1-0 victories. So you knew in every game one goal was going to decide it, and that proved to be the case here as well. Let's talk about kind of the summary of the final, and as we go forward from that game now.
Yeah, it definitely, especially that first half. I think both teams kind of initially came out a little bit of a defensive chess match. They were a little bit worried. Nobody wants it when both previous games end 1-0. That one goal is going to be the difference. So I think at first, but you could see both teams were a little reluctant. But as the game progressed, the intensity, the stakes increased. You saw it just start to build. And I mean, there's a few key moments that could have been the difference. But again, I think that goes to show in those tight, fierce matches the difference. Because I mean, there was a few breakaways. Again, I can't see too much from the supporter section, so I can't name names. But I remember a few breakaways that we had, a few that they had, a few shots off the post that literally tells you the difference. Yeah, it's so cheesy to say, but it's literally inches, with a 1-goal win.
Absolutely. And speaking of inches, I mean, the breakaway that Maxime had that looked like a surefire. I mean, knowing that he has the ball in front of it's him and the keeper one-on-one, that ball's going in. And for him to hit the post, I mean, my heart sank when it hit the post.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, I'm pretty sure it was the second half, that App had a good shot on goal that went. It looked like it was going wide, and it hit the post. And I swear from the booth, you could hear a collective when it did, because I mean it clanked off, and it was just like that. If App had an opportunity, that was their opportunity.
Yeah, I remember watching that one breakaway we had, and I think I immediately turned to the guys and said, man, that could be what comes to bite us back in the butt, because that's how it is, and that's how it is. But luckily, we were able to kind of keep pushing and keep persevering. And again, like you said, what a story! Wow. It's like a movie,
dude. And I posted this on I think Facebook and Instagram that whatever happens in the future, whether we go on and win, whether we don't, whatever, that night lives forever. That moment lives forever. The goal stands for and Diego coming back after 300 days injured, getting the assist to, he was a sub that night, but he always takes the captain's armband when he comes in as Tommy. Diego to Tommy for the goal is that's what movies are made of, you know?
Yeah, and a few of those shots taken by the photography team were absolutely, again, it's like storybook, it was incredible to see. It's funny because, I think there's a lot of casual supporters, not that they don't love the team, but they don't know a lot of the nuances behind the team. So obviously that goal was crazy, but you could really see the reactions people had, and it made it more intense and emotional, that the team posting about it, and it's whoa, it really just brought it deeper, and you could see people reacting to that, and the response was incredible. Again, just fairy tale ending.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And I coined it, I think I coined it somewhere, or maybe it was in my own mind, you've heard the goal heard around the world, or the shot heard around the world, but I don't want to say Hickory's the center of the universe, but that was the goal, that was the goal heard around Hickory was that goal right there.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. And you talked a little bit earlier about this kind of budding rivalry, and I think that's one of the things that I've heard most people talk about recently. Because, I mean, I talked to friends from the gym, friends at work. I mean, everyone is involved with this team at this point. And the common theme that everyone brought up was, I love that we have a rival. I mean, I don't follow LR football as much, so I'm sure that there's some aspect of rivalry, but I think that's almost like the American dream. We want a rival. We want somebody to want to beat.
I think so. And being a Manchester United fan, unfortunately last year, but being a fan, their big rival, apart from Man City, is Liverpool, and there's bad blood between both squads, the fans. And to me, that's what this rivalry, especially after Saturday, that's what this rivalry is now, is a legit, there's bad blood. And I think Curtis even said at the beginning of the stream, this is bad blood number 3, and it's only going to get worse as we go into next year.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be interesting to see, because, I mean, it's already fascinating that we blow them out of their own stadium, and nothing will make me happier than always knowing that their current attendance record is because of your Hickory FC fans. They're never going to be able to live that down, and that's that's just always going to have to live in their heart. So it's kind of fun to be able to have that, you know, on top of the fact that we beat them in 2 championships back to back our first 2 years. I mean,
there you go. So I think if you're still watching us right now, if you're still with us, you know, like I mentioned earlier, there's a third mic, and we've got a very, like, I'm a kid at Christmas right now because this dude has really stepped up and has stepped into his own, and I can't, like, he doesn't need an introduction. I think Max is going to give him one anyway, and I am super excited to have him with us. If you want to talk about who we've got with us, Max?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been talking. The last episode, this episode, we've had our fair amount of, you know, dominating games, but the ones that really stick to heart are those close games. You know, the 1-0 games where every single little difference makes the difference, whether it's those inches, the save, whatnot. And I think that's what makes one of the most important aspects of our season is when, you know, the guy at the back, you know, every position's important, but arguably one of the most important positions, the goalkeeper, gets kind of removed from us in the middle of the season. So not only do we have these tight games, but the guy, our last man standing, gets an incredible opportunity, and we have to have the next man up. And, you know, it's really interesting to step into the mind of the person who has that opportunity, not only has the opportunity, steps into it, absolutely crushes it. And we have that opportunity today. So we got a special guest here. We're going to be picking his brain. Everyone please welcome Daniel Miklosi.
Daniel, the Hungarian brick wall, as I say.
Hey
welcome,
everyone.
Sir. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, it's been an incredible season I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like a broken record. I'm like, this is insane. This is incredible. But, you know, like I said, you've been a huge part of that, and we'll dive deeper into that. But I like to start kind of at the beginning. We can work our way to this championship game here. But talk to me about, like, what brought you here. I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, how the NPSL works. But, like, how did you end up here? What did you hear about Hickory? Like, what did you hear about us, and how did you end up here?
It's actually a really interesting story. So, LR, like where we play the games, is part of my conference where I play at school. I play at Lincoln Memorial University. And of course, as you guys know, as hopefully everyone knows, Carlos Rubio is the head coach of LR men's soccer. So we played against them during the fall. And in November, he reached out to me that he would love to have me on the team. And he sent me the whole structure, everything that I need to know about the club. And he also told me that there is, at that time, he was 3,000 fans coming out to the games. So I was like, wow, that must be an incredible feeling. And he portrayed me a plan that I couldn't say no to. So that's basically how I found out about Hickory. And yeah, basically just, it was from the start, from November, I was really excited. I felt like this is a really good opportunity to show myself and play in front of thousands of people. And as you guys said, 5,758. That's something special. And
it's wild. We can call it football here. We don't have to call it soccer.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm really happy about that.
So, with you know, Coach Rubio giving you kind of the rundown of Hickory and playing in front of the fans, and you know, obviously, I guess you knew that Hickory won the Southeast Conference last year, so you knew kind of you were already coming into like a winning atmosphere. But like, what were your personal expectations of coming in for this season? And did, you know, at the beginning when you were given everything, like, did you expect to play this year at all?
To be honest, like, when I came, I didn't know about the goalkeeping situation. I came here to compete for the starting spot. Of course, coming up from a pretty good college year, it's different when you come to summer league, to a new place especially. And I didn't know anything about Jasper. So I came here, and of course, Jasper, as you guys said it many times, he is turned out to be a Hickory legend. He did a lot for the team last year, and of course this year too. And as a new guy, you come in, no one knows you. It's a brand new atmosphere. So as a goalkeeper, it's kind of like when you're the new guy, you either got to work 3 times better than everyone else, 3 times harder, but also you got to sit out your time until there is your time to shine. And then when they give you the chance, that's when you need to step up. And luckily, I was able to do that. So.
You mentioned that Jasper's a club legend. Sir, I think you are well on your way. I think, honestly, even, and we talked about it in the last episode, that even though the Bristol game felt like a loss because, I mean, you know, top versus bottom, you expect to go in and blow somebody out. But the 2 saves that you made in that game to maintain the draw, to me personally, and I know I'm a fanboy of fanboys, I know that, but to me, that cemented you as just as much a legend as Jasper. And I mean, I don't want to, like, you know, grovel at your feet, but sir, I mean, like,
I am not worthy.
yeah, you know, that's what I feel like.
worthy.
I feel like, you know, I mentioned Manchester United. Like, this club is Manchester United to me, from like growing up here, living here all 41 years. Like, so to have somebody on our podcast, one, is amazing, but like to have somebody of your quality playing for the team, like, you are a club legend now. I hope you know that.
Well, I really appreciate the kind words. I mean, this is my first year here. I mean, I played, 7 games so far?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel it every day that this place is special. I really appreciate every minute that I can spend on the pitch. And back to that Bristol game, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything without the team. So, I just want to have a shout out to the goalkeeper coach that we have, Will, Carlos, for giving me the chance to play, to have the confidence in me to play, but also the team. I mean, through that game, I mean, we fought hard. Again, like every game, it's just the chances just didn't come our way. We couldn't score, but at the same time, like, that's why I'm there.
Yeah.
To make those saves that keep us in the game and keep a clean sheet. That's what the goal is always as a goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You brought something up earlier that off camera that has been like kind of rolling in my mind because I've never thought about. I mean, I grew up playing soccer, center mid, never played goalie, peaked freshman year of high school. But he was saying, you know, like, especially when they're trying to figure out who's starting, this and that, and even just giving the opportunity, you use the word trust. And like, I've just been sitting here thinking about that, and it's something I've never thought about, but you're right. You know, like, you can show your worth in practice and make saves and scrimmages and this and that, but I feel like there's something different. I mean, like, it's such a fragile position. Like, if your center midfield's out of position, you know, you're somebody can cover, you know, a striker can pull back. If the center back pulls up too much to try to press on a ball, you know, one of your wing backs can cover. If you mess up, for lack of better words, or you're out of position, like that, it's so fragile, and it is trust. You know, they got to trust you, and it's crazy to think about. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, I don't know if they say it here, but back in Europe, they always say, like, the goalkeeping position is the most unrewarding.
Yeah.
Like, if you make a save, everyone is gonna say, "Oh, that's your job."
Yeah.
And then when you mess up, everyone's just gonna say, "Oh, what are you doing? That's your only job."
Yeah.
So I think from a coaching perspective, you're always gonna trust the guy or you're always gonna choose the guy that you trust. It's always gonna be like that. That's why you see goalkeeper or coaches go with their goalkeepers at professional teams for 10 years, because they are like, yeah, that guy works for me. He knows what I want. I trust him. He literally proved it over the years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep on going with him.
Yeah, so can you take us back to the moment, maybe not the exact moment, but kind of the idea or whenever you were told that you'd be starting now?
I mean, it was like, you know how like Friday trainings, Thursday training, you already have like a feel of it, that you are like, okay, like I'm the first that does every like drill. I feel like I'm gonna start. Like, that was the feeling. And to be honest, I was ready. I wasn't nervous at all. I was more like, okay, finally it's my time to go. And I remember, I think it was away at Alliance. That was my first game. And then throughout the whole road down to Knoxville, I was like, yeah, I'm just ready. I'm just locked in. I'm ready to go. And I just wanted to put on a good show, or basically a good showing, so that I would be able to play in front of the fans again against Alliance the next week. So when I found out, I was really happy, but at the same time, I tried to stay calm and get ready mentally for the game.
So it wasn't like as soon as you heard Jasper sign the contract, you didn't know. He kind of like kept it in limbo for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can say it, but Jasper like had this contract in the wild for like a month, probably, and we just didn't know when he's gonna leave, if he's gonna take the contract, and then he decided, yeah, I'm gonna go for it,
Gotcha.
and that's when I was like, okay, now it's probably gonna be my time to shine. So
Okay.
that's how it happened.
And then what about that first game? That's the one thing I was curious about, because I think I mentioned it in the first podcast. It wasn't meant to be a bad thing, but I definitely noticed. I think we were at your first starting game, and I remember it was a cross or something, and you caught it and like bobbled it and then dropped. And I remember I was like, uh-oh. But then, as I said last time, it felt like every save you got like a little more comfortable. Did you feel that, or did you feel comfortable off the rip and I just misinterpreted it?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like the last time I played was in April back at my school, and like training is not even close to game. So when you're not playing for 2 months, you gotta have like a game like Alliance when you are the favorites. You have more like okay, this is like a calmer game. You can actually start like building up your confidence again and again. And I feel like after like 40 minutes maybe, I felt super comfortable. But of course, first half, you gotta get back into it. It's kind of like biking. You never forget it, but you just gotta get back into it. So that was my goal, just to gain as much confidence throughout the game, so I'm ready for the playoffs.
Yeah. And what was it like in the locker room? Like, what did the guys think? Like when they found out, and where were you guys when you found out? Did he announce a starting lineup, and the guys, what did they say to you? Did they give you words of encouragement?
Yeah, I mean, the whole group is like just amazing. Everyone supports each other. Well, I would say the biggest supporter throughout this time was one of my best friend, Ronan, the Spanish midfielder that we have. We play at the same school, and throughout the whole time, I mean, I never been in a situation where I wasn't a starting goalkeeper. So this was like a first for me, and for some periods of time when Jasper was playing and I was the second choice, I was just really like mentally done with this a little bit. I was like, yeah, I'm just tired. Like I want to play. Like this is what I live for. And then that's when he was like, trust me, you're gonna have your time. Keep on working hard, and then it's gonna come, because hard work always pays off. And he helped me a lot with mentality and keeping me in line of, it doesn't matter what happens today. Keep working hard, and then eventually you will get your chance. So.
And I think we need to give a shout out to Ronan. And I mentioned it on the stream during the game Saturday. He was taking knock after knock after knock after knock. You could keep going on with how physical they were against him. And he'd just get up and shrug it off. I think there were a couple times that, he had to walk it out maybe. But dude is an absolute warrior, and we are very fortunate to have him along with you.
Happy to have him at my school. He is our facilitator in the midfield. He's a warrior. He can do everything that you want on the pitch. So I'm just happy to have him as a friend, more so than a player.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you, how do you prepare both physically and mentally? I mean, you saw both of the previous app games, knowing that this is a cup final. Like, how do you get in? And I know we were talking about just being locked in earlier. How do you do that?
It's tunnel vision. Like at that point when especially that we had like a feeling that there's gonna be like 6,000 people out. Yeah. So everyone was like, okay, we gotta win this. Like this is like Coach Carlos said it the best, that this was not for 25 players. This one was for 35 guys who work around the team. The guys that was here before, the guys that's gonna be here after. This is for the fans. So basically, of course there's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, you try to enjoy it as much as you can. I mean, you go into the game, you do your casual routine, what you always do, but again, there is like, the little spark when it's like, okay, it's a championship game. It's either win or go home. That's it. So you gotta take every chance that you have, and just try to stay calm. And as I said, tunnel vision. That's how it works. Tunnel vision. You just look at it.
You kind of beat me to my next question, but I was so curious. I was going to say, I feel like there's two types of people preparing for a game. You got the guys that are like, let's go, hype, hype.
Yeah.
And then you got the LeBrons with the headphones, the glasses that just go in. And
Yeah.
So what's your prep like?
I am more of a LeBron guy.
Yeah.
Like as a goalkeeper, like I think, like for the guys, like you gotta prepare to run 10, 12 kilometers.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like stay mentally focused, as sharp as you can, and when it's your time to do something, that's when you gotta execute 100%. And that's why, like every time, like you just try to stay calm as possible. You're trying to be mentally prepared for whatever football throws at you, because there is something new every game. So I just try to stay focused, and I'm LeBron with the glasses, sitting with my headphones on.
Next game, we're gonna see Mickey walking in, glasses in, headphones in, just stone cold.
I'm gonna be the LeBron meme after the 3-1. I'm gonna just sit there.
He's
like
gonna walk
this.
out on the pitch like that.
And we kind of talked about it a little bit, but my next question was going to be, I mean, like, what's it like playing in front of these fans? I mean, we've ranted about, I'm sure I know it's similar in college, but a lot of the other NPSL teams are playing in front of 50, 100, 150 people, and then you show up here and there's 5,000 people in the stands, and what's that feel like?
I mean, it's you can guess. It's absolutely amazing. Like seeing people wearing your number on the stands, shouting at everything that you do, shouting like as a save, like everyone is clapping, it just gives you the edge over other teams, that plus motivation, that when you go into games on Friday training, you can think about, tomorrow we play in front of 6,000 people again. Like it's just such an amazing feeling. That's why we're so happy to have home advantage, because hopefully we can play 3 more games in front of our fans, which for us is a huge plus.
So you touched on like the energy you get. What do you? I had to ask this the right way. Do you actually like feel like when people are going crazy and they're yelling and screaming and cheering? Do you legit like feel it and you're just like, I can run through a brick wall now, or like?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the adrenaline pump that you get from it. Like, let's be honest, all athletes are adrenaline addicts.
Yeah.
And that adrenaline when you make a save, for example, the save that I made in the 150 minute or something, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to. If you want to, I can run through that Sasquatch or whatever. but that was like wow, that gives me that plus edge that even when it's 150 minute, I'm tired, like I can't see because of sweat that's in my eyes. At that point, I'm like, okay, Lionel Messi can shoot against me, I'm ready.
He's like, no shot,
Yeah.
no shot
at all.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously pales in comparison, but I'm glad to hear that, because I definitely know in the 110th minute or so, all my drummers are looking at me and they're like, Max, my arms are about to fall off. And I said, I don't care. The boys need us. Keep playing. And I've told several people, it's funny because, during the games, we try to change the songs a little bit. Again, tunnel vision. That last 20 minutes of the game was nuts, but I vividly remember I was like, we're going to play one drum cadence and we're just going to keep going loud. And every time I looked back at them, they looked at me and they're like, and I was like, louder, go.
Yeah, I mean, that just gives us the edge. Like once again, the fans that we have all around the stadium, but especially you guys, I mean, it's just there is no better place to be honest. And especially when around minute 60, 70, when the app fans started to drum a lot, that's when we felt like, okay, they can do whatever. But our guys have us. Like, because we saw that as soon as they started going harder, we started going harder, and we have more fans at the stadium. So we were ready to put our body on the line. And
I think we
and get the
might
job
have
done.
more fans than everybody else in our conference combined.
Oh, for sure.
I bet we do.
But I can see that.
I bet we
can see
do.
that.
And that is a what would you call it? That's not really humble. I mean, it's a brag. I'm not humbly bragging. I'm basically.
No, he's bragging.
Yeah, I'm bragging.
That's what you call home advantage.
For real. No, seriously.
And this might lead us into the next, I guess, topic we want to talk about is moving forward into the Southern Region final now on Saturday. Yep. So what is next for Mickey and Hickory FC as a whole?
I mean, what's next? What's next is always the next game. It's knockout games. The only thing that you can do is focus on the next game, execute at the highest level, and then prepare for, again, whatever football throws at you. So we always prepare for the next game. We don't look after that. We don't look behind us. We don't look forward. We just do whatever in front of us right now. But of course, what's next for the team and hopefully for the city and for everyone is a national title.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone I've talked to is hoping for that too. So, but kind of as you're talking about, next game up kind of leads us into our next section. Wanted to, as we did a little bit last time, kind of give the viewers a little bit of an explanation of kind of what the path to that national championship looks like. So I talked about it a little bit last episode, but so we won the Southeastern Conference and we are in the South region. And as I mentioned again, the three teams in the South region are the Southeastern Conference winner, the South Lone Star Conference winner, and the Gulf Coast Conference winner. So luckily, you guys see them posting about our national ranking all the time, but the reason why that's so important, and we're really going to touch on this in a second, is that ranking being so high gave us that first round bye in the South region. So actually, Jacksonville Armada had to play Lubbock Matadors on Wednesday. So they came off their conference championship. 3 days later, Lubbock travels, 10, 12 hours to Jacksonville, plays a grueling match on Wednesday. They won that South region semifinal, which puts them as our South region final opponent. That's like 3 games, lots of travel, but that sets us up at where we're at now here in the South Region Final, which is that game coming up on the 19th.
Yeah, I think if we wanted a road to the national final, this is it, right? With not having to travel, having a week off between finals. When I guess Lubbock now, since they won Wednesday, they have to travel to us, and not a lot of rest, a lot of travel. I mean, it's shaping up to be certainly in our favor. I don't want to say anything and jinx anything and call anything, obviously, but, I mean, if there is ever a road to the national final, this is probably it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of curious because, I mean, we always talk about home field advantage and travel, but, like, what does that look like, when you're traveling 4 hours to Port City? Like, tell the people, like, does it actually, like, are you, like, stretching out after you get off the bus and you're like, oh gosh, I gotta play a game now? Like,
I mean, it's always uncomfortable, like traveling wherever you go. Like, we were lucky because our amazing owners, we were able to stay overnight, so we had a hotel room. So that's different because you can actually relax, rest, and then be ready for the next game. But some teams don't have the advantage and possibility with their owners, and because of that, traveling 4 hours, getting off the bus, getting the body moving, the blood flowing, and then start warming up, it's hard, but again, it's part of the game. So, we are lucky that we are in the position that we can actually stay at home for all the games, hopefully, and we can play in front of our fans.
Yeah, and luckily, that's not an issue we have to worry about right now, so that's pretty cool. As I mentioned last week, Virginia Dream was the one team that was kind of standing in our way as to a possible away game, but they lost in their conference semifinals. So now we're locked in, and a big part of that is, so we're ranked nationally number 3. Virginia Dream was number 2, so we don't have to worry about that. And then the number 1 team, which is another one I kind of wanted to bring up, was El Farolito out in San Francisco. But it's already been said time and time again that the NPSL has already decided about that the West team is going to travel. But I've talked to a few people about it and kind of briefly mentioned, but I think El Farolito is an interesting team. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because their dominance has kind of shown that they're going to be the ones. And I wasn't sure, like, do you guys know much about, like, do you guys talk about the other teams, or like have you guys know
Yeah,
about
I mean,
Fairleigh?
we are in a regional final, so at this point, every team is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like you gotta give the credit where credit is due. Every team that we're gonna face from now on is gonna be a good team. So, of course, we know about Farolito. Of course, we know about Lubbock. Like we're getting ready for every game. But of course, always the next game is what matters. But I think Farolito's story is just how you guys said is an incredible story, starting from a restaurant and just building it up to be a successful soccer team. So I think every team is good, but we gotta prepare to be ready to fight against everyone.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, El Farolito is actually a restaurant in San Francisco, and this soccer team was started 40 years ago. They just made a soccer team that was associated with the restaurant. But what was there's two things that are interesting about it. First off, don't quote me on the specifics, but they had a lot of family and friends that immigrated from Central and South America, previous like semi-professional, professional soccer players, and this was like a minor league team. So these dudes were just immigrating in, and they were just dominating the leagues they played in. But what's interesting and something that I read online that I thought was cool was people were saying, like they dominate year in, year out. Like, why aren't they moving up? Why don't they move to another division? But somebody was like, you know what? They found their spot. They found their niche. Like, that's their thing. They just like some guys that came in and they love just playing well and they love dominating. Maybe that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in and just keep dominating. But it's a really interesting story. It's very cool. So.
Yeah, so we've hit on Farolito that, we certainly don't want to look, ahead of Lubbock and the semifinals. We want to focus on the next match ahead. But so El Farolito, like you mentioned, is more than likely going to be in the final, and that's who we would potentially look at. But what about, let's talk about real briefly what it would mean for you guys as players. I know there's only a handful that are second-year players, but like being a first-year player, what it would mean for you, what it would mean for this city. Maybe you don't know for this city, but I can tell you for this city, like it would be absolutely. I don't know that there's a superlative to describe what it would mean for the city, but what would it mean for you as a player, a new player this year, to win? I don't even know if we should talk about it, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, you guys can't see, but Gavin's been knocking on wood this entire time.
I don't even know if we should talk about it, but what would it mean to win a national final in your?
You can imagine, like it would mean everything. Winning in this city, winning in front of this crowd is special. Doing it through the summer with new guys, especially, it would be something amazing. But again, winning a national championship is really hard, and first we gotta focus on the game that's on Saturday, and then after that we can think about what's next, and that's still not that game. So first we gotta get through this game. It's gonna be hard. Every game from now on is gonna be hard, but to win a national championship, I think just in everything is really special to everyone. And I can say that first year, I already know what Hickory means, and I only been here for 2.5 months, but I already feel like this place is something special. Like when you go to Morat and you see the fans and everything, it's just a special feeling. Something in your stomach, starts going crazy. And for second year guys, I can't even imagine what they feel. Who's been here last year too? They love this place. You meet with people every day who are interesting, and then most of the guys are training kids, and their parents are absolutely amazing too, and they give you a lot of support, and it's just unbelievable. Would be an unbelievable feeling, even just to win on Saturday. So
yeah, well, I do know this, and like I said, I already said it once, I'll say it again, that you are now a club legend, and I am very confident in saying that everybody would agree with me in that. And that you are always welcome. Like this basically, it's like Budapest / Hickory. Like that's your home now. It's like you're always
that's where I'm from.
You're always welcome. Yeah, this is your second home now, especially after this season. Not just because of your quality, but because of who you are. So yeah. I think with that, we're pretty confident, and we thank you for joining us for this episode, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me.
Yeah.
I had a really good time.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Like I said before, you know, it's I think what was exciting the most is, you know, everyone talks about this stuff, you know, like, he must be nervous. Oh, it must be cool. He must be excited. But like to actually be able to go inside the mind of somebody who, and it's not just anyone. This, like I said, this is a guy who had to step in the middle of a season when everyone's like, oh, this is our season. We gotta win and do well. That's a lot of stress and pressure, and you just crushed it, man. You just like walked in. He's like, nah, I'm good. You guys don't have to worry about me, you know. And he did great. So it's cool to be able to pick your brain about it and just really kind of see what you truly felt about it.
So I guess if you don't have anything else, we thank you guys for joining this latest episode of From the Roots Up. I want to thank you again to our partners, Barley Market, for hosting us, allowing us the space to do this, our brand new partners in Lifting Love Network that our podcast is going to be a part of, and Chris at Vondrell Media for doing our promo, which I'm confident you'll see in this podcast, actually, our intros. So with that, what do we say? Stay loud, stay proud, and stay growing from the roots up.
I have one thing to say. Come out on Saturday. Let's back our Moretz and let's win. Thank you, boys.
Oh yeah, let's sell it out. And as always,
up the trees.
Up the trees.
Let's go.